Welcome everybody, welcome to the term of illumination. There's a lot of information on the site regarding physics, science, the flat earth model, how it works, the truth, true science, religions, legends, cultural beliefs, myths, all come together. Today's video is maybe for atheists, and what they may wonder what the heck the old Jesus story is all about if they disregard religion as pure fanciful, imaginational, or I don't know what they think it is. They must just think someone's got a great imagination. I don't know. But anyway, what I'm going to do is correlate the Jesus story with physics. And to understand the physics, you have to understand the flat earth system. The correct physics involved with free energy, basically. And I found the whole system because I know the whole flat earth system. So I can explain all religions and myths and legends. So today we'll try and concentrate on the Jesus story and connect it with energy, the energy of earth and free energy we can create today, which is all hidden from you because everybody's of the mindset that they think they live on a spinning ball, and you've got entropy and other things like actual old patents that have been been registered but hidden from the people or bought out by billionaires, so you can't go there, things like that. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about the energy system of the flat earth system. So if you haven't seen my model before, there's flat earth, we're looking down on it and you can see all the magnetic fields. So you've got all the magnetic field turning in the centre north, and this field in the south turns all the way around it all the time. So they're both connected, they're turning together at all times. A north and a south pole. And they have this gap. This is the tropical gap called the dielectric between what we can call the two capacitor plates. So you can imagine two iron rings with a certain distance, this distance here, is a certain distance depending on the strength of your magnetic field and probably the electrical charge that will be created in here. So in here, in this gap is where we see the sun in the tropics. That's where we see the image of the sun. It moves around here. It's your 24-hour day, 360 degrees. So if that moving electrical charge creates a changing magnetic field. So you've got a magnetic field both sides of this voltage, right? So as the sun's moving around, going day and night, it's changing the magnetic field of Earth, isn't it? It's it, day and night. Consider day as the strong force and night the weak force. They know that in physics. Physics, they also know of the capacitor plates. So each side of the tropic, Cancer and Capricorn, you consider as their metal capacitor plates, the iron capacitor plates. In each side you've got the poles, the South Pole and the North Pole. This is all the North Pole in here. This is a slice through the plan view. Okay? It's an elevation. Now you look at the small north and think, what the hell, that's not right. But it's like this, isn't it? But it's also like this. This is if you are standing there looking as your perspective in that location at all times. You see the whole big model like that. Otherwise, you're from a distance looking into it. You see the north, centre north is way larger than the southern field, because that's how a toroidal field works. It expressed out from the centre gets bigger and bigger, and then it's returning field. So the southern field is just a returning field. So you can imagine it's basically got weaker as it's blown up, and comes back to renew again, goes out, weak, strong, weak, strong. It's the way the system works. So here it is. So this from the centre, South Pole, North Pole. So right to the equator is the northern hemisphere in here, the centre north, and then you have the southern field out here, all the way around it. So you have to imagine these are the capacitor plates, and this is the dielectric gap in here. The magnetic field does not cross the tropics. Science tells you that the magnetic field at the equator is very weak. It's so weak that they've failed to detect the fact that it doesn't even cross the tropics here. It'll pass along the ground, which it does. It tells you that in the Bible. Along the ground thou shalt go. If you understand the Bible, 99.99999% of people do not. That's why they come to my channel. This is where you learn the truth. Now, so the magnetic field, you cannot live on a spinning ball because the magnetic field does not move from the South Pole to the North Pole on your spinning ball. It doesn't cross the tropics at all. Only through the ground here. Okay? This is why we get a direct magnetic field between the tropics. It's dead straight because the energy is here. Your compass is basically pointing to there or there. But the rest of the earth is curving magnetic field lines. The tropics is direct. Okay? So this is the iron capacitor plates, and the magnetic field, north and south pole, is built up. So if you get a really strong magnetic field on either side, as you go higher up in the atmosphere, it creates the image of the sun, which is the voltage. This it moves all the way around. So the voltage of the sun is moving around due to the changing magnetic field. Because the moving voltage is changing the magnetic field. And in turn, the changing magnetic field is moving the sun. So they both end up feeding themselves. This is where free energy comes into it through magnetism, and there's no such thing as entropy when it comes to this magnetic field. Entropy and all that is just to keep you dumb. So you don't go out and do what Bill Gates and all them are doing and charging you, all this money and becoming billionaires and keeping you poor. This is why they buy up the patents and bury them so you don't advance mentally. So anyway, the whole system, we can create it. There's heaps of different models you can use, but it's a 2-ring system. So basically we just work on a monolithic system, a single system. That's where entropy comes into it because nothing's driving it, keeping it driving. So you've got to understand the center point here and here as opposed to this point out here. See, we see an image of a sun here, but that's where the Milky Way comes down, you see. But the real sun, the real plasma, is caught back in this strong magnetic field here. So we've got a magnetic field coming up this way, and it's the electromagnetic induction between the two capacitor plates here that feed in this way. So the two fields come together to create the real plasma. But we don't see any of that. We see the end image over here as an image. Just like the Bible tells you, all the celestial bodies are for signs. So this is our blown up vision so we can see it here, what's happening. But the secret's all back in here where we cannot see it, it's metaphysical. But this is the system, I know it. So there's the voltage, our image of the voltage. Although it's in here going around the black hole, out here it's going around the celestial tropical gap. So the moving voltage is changing the magnetic field behind it, and the changing magnetic field is pulling the sun. So you can say the sun's driving the magnetic field, and then the magnetic field is pulling the sun. Or the sun's leading the magnetic field, and the magnetic field is leading the sun, pulling the sun. So what you have is two metal rings as capacitor plates. There's a bit of science or a bit of playing around. You don't have to be a physicist to work out this gap width here to get the charge. There's all sorts of calculations and maths, physics for this gap. Tesla wrote a paper on it. So, Tesla knew all this stuff 100 years ago. We could have had all this free power way back then. I mean, it's been around forever, free power. So you have this magnet, a bar magnet in here, and a pivot on the dead centre Arctic, spinning. Because that's what we have in the flat earth system. Central hemisphere has this curving, moving magnetic field. You see it in the stars at night. Time lapse, star trails. We've known about it for hundreds, thousands of years because it's celestial navigation. Celestial navigation, they call this the spider web. It's continuously turning. So you can imagine this one of these magnetic field lines marries with one of these ones out here. So as this turns, this will move. This is turning, this is moving. This is a changing magnetic field. So we have a bar magnet in here, spinning with its pivot point. Look, north-south, spinning, it's changing. But at the same time you've got a spinning one out here. But it doesn't, not only turns like this, it's moving around like this. So one full rotation in the centre here is one full rotation of this magnet all the way around. So you can speed it up and it's just flying around together. So they're always opposing each other. So this is where you get the charge in between, the electromagnetic induction. So the idea, a bit of thinking here, you'd need it in some sort of cog system, just like the anti-Kytherian mechanism built on cogs, where this cog's linked to this cog and that's linked to this cog. You'll see it in the, there's something similar when you look at the Prague clock. Okay? Because this is all imprinted from the stars above. It's all from the movement of the magnetic field where you see all the stars moving. Realise Earth is like a wax print, just like the Bible tells you. Through zenith cameras and spectroscopy, the images, they can get images of the sky, and they're all, it's like this. There's Earth and there's the firmament. It's like an eggshell pulled apart, just like the Bible tells you. So all you atheists, you might want to go read that book again, or try it. Most people can't read it, so you best come to this channel and I'll interpret it for you. So that's turning, and this is turning. So the changing north-south, 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 all the way around is moving this charge. So we need to get the energy is on the plate here. So this could say the phase, and that's the neutral, and the two wires, you see. So you could put a light bulb on a stand, and if that stand's moving around here with the cog system, that light will stay on. Okay? Light will stay on. So this correlates with what do you call it? Oh, no, I can't think of the word. That magnetic elevation, the levitation, the dry ice, whatever it is, and because it's a similar system, because that's a magnet that's floating around there, magnet, and you've got the ice. You've got to realise back here, Earth is based on cold fusion, because you've got the centre Arctic here, the ice, freezing flipping cold up here, freezing cold, but where the sun is created in the magnetic field, it's room temperature. But that room temperature is driving the wind, because the ancients tell us the magnetic field is in the wind, gets drawn up, feeding the plasma. And the warm air created here is radiation between the plates, the electromagnetic induction, that gets drawn over to here. That gets sucked in here. This is a stronger field. It draws it in. Although a little bit's coming this way, it's a weaker field. This is the strong field. This is where the actual plasma is being created, the real plasma. We get the image of the sun out here on a smaller scale. So the sun itself here, the image, that's not giving us the heat of the sun. No, the heat of the sun is being created in the tropics here, and it's to do with this field as it turns, where it is reflecting out into our realm. So that the sun is only an image in your eyeballs. It's the image your brain gives you, because you need a focal point. Your eyeballs has to have a focal point of that frequency. This is what all the planets and the stars and that are. They're just a focal point of the energy wave. Your eyeball has to find a central image, and that's it. So none of these images are in one place at one time. Only for the observer. So more than one observer, it's not in the same place. This is why they have Einstein and his cronies, the lying Freemasons, who lead you away from the truth, have that term relative to the observer. This is why we cannot determine the distance to any celestial bodies, because they're all over the place depending on where you're standing, as to where you're getting your image. Every man stands within an arc of horizon, his own perspective of the universe. So if he's standing over there, his dome is there, so he's going to get a central point down into his dome. This guy's standing here, his dome is here. He has his central point. There's two different locations. You could be looking on a similar angle, but you can't marry them together. They're all over the place. This is why the ancient Egyptians tell us the sun is in many places, but only seen in one. Your perspective. It's in many places, because it's not actually an object. Not an object. It's just a focal point everybody has in their view of their horizon. Arc of horizon. Okay? So our realm is magical. It's all imitation. It's a holographic projection. We live in a show. It's nothing but a show. Okay? So the sooner you wake up and get out there and tell these masters, Freemason, freaky, lying so-and-sos, that you know the truth, stop lying to us, the sooner we're going to be free again, free citizens, not, a man, free men, not just a person, okay? Born into their evil realm of control. We need to be free, and it's free here, free energy, everybody can have it. This is just one system. Just put your mind to it. There's lots of systems. This correlates with John Searle's generator. Remember the magnetic rotating mechanism he had? Same thing. What they do, they never advanced on that. That's all hidden, kept from us. Stopped us from going there because he had a patent on it. He probably got paid out a lot, but it never went anywhere. Like a lot of things, they never go anywhere, because they get shut down. So you could call this the Lindsay Harris system. I've got no patent, but just ignore them, just go and do your own systems anyway. It's all there. Okay, so the wire will give you the light. You could make a little system and you have your light running, free light at night, anywhere in the world. There's a lot of systems on YouTube that Indian guys have done. They're pretty clever. They've got the same sort of system. Spinning magnets. It's all about magnetic induction. Changing magnetic field giving you that electromagnetic induction. So you have to have an electrical system to have a magnetic field, and a magnetic field to have an electrical system, or a moving magnetic field to have the electrical system. What else can I say regarding this? The cog system, the two magnetic fields. This is how Earth works. I put this up a long time ago, but you get no traction. They just about shut my YouTube channel down. It's gone from there right down to there to nothing since I opened my Patreon page. So you might want to join my Patreon page. Things are starting to go through there before they get onto YouTube. And I don't know exactly how the system's working, but YouTube just collapsed to just about nothing. So understanding the flat earth system will free your mind, free you from enslavement. You are really dumb if you think you live on a spinning ball. Don't think flat earthers are dumb. They're not dumb. They know. It's the sixth sense in their brain. They know, you know, they know how dumb the ball system is. When these scientists tell you there's no up and down on a ball, since when was there no up and down on a ball? Oh, only since science manufactured this fairy tale of a spinning ball in La La Land. Oh, there's no up and down in La La Land. Oh, okay, yeah, right. So, understanding what's in the Bible is actually fact. You just have to understand it to know. You won't know if you don't understand it. So sign up, guys. Patreon page, if you can find it. It's tricky to find, actually. All the magic's hidden in the Arctic Centre, showing us images out here in our realm. We can't get in here. There's the S-curve of creation. That pattern, as it turns, is reflecting all the night stars in our sky. Because of this pattern is how and why the stars are moving like they are. Now, the next video will be regarding the Great Pyramids of Cairo, Giza, and what Graham Hancock and them have touched on. They don't know the full system. I know the full system. They don't know the whole picture. They're right that those pyramids represent Orion's belt. But how, why, when? I will be explaining this. What has the Sphinx got to do with it? The coordinates of the Sphinx in the pyramids. Why are they in that location? What are they representing? No, they've only touched on it. I've got the full story, okay? So put a likes up and subscribe and jump on my Patreon. I need support, financial support. And if you get up to the $10 tier or the $20 tier, you get the bulk of the information. Nothing's for free, okay, in this world. So why should I be doing all this work for free? It's quite cheap, really, when you think about the local newspapers. The Herald, New Zealand Herald, is $20 a month. Yeah, people like these flat earthers, it's so tight they won't even invest $3.50 a month to get the truth. I have the truth, trust me. Cheers, guys.